You guys, this is day 2. We're only doing a 2-day wear test for this one, and you will see why. Just keep on watching. But first, we're going to talk. This is the Saie. Should I hold it this way? Saie Glowy Super Skin Lightweight Hydro Bounce Serum Foundation. We may have a winner for the longest title for a foundation ever. I don't have a database on this. That's a lot of words, and we don't need them. What they are saying, it is a lightweight serum foundation with medium buildable coverage that brightens and leaves a luminous finish, blends easily for a hydrated and seamless second skin appearance. Luminous is generous, and this is powdered. The coverage is medium, the finish is radiant, but they're calling it glowy, and I think glowy a lot closer. Here are the call outs. Hydro Bounce Trademark Complex, which is a cross-linked hyaluronic acid, non-equilibrium hyaluronic acid, and polyglutamic acid, which is so interesting because I just shot a skincare video talking about some things I've added and some other skincare stuff, and that will probably go up first. And they have that same ingredient, the polyglutamic acid. And what it does is it locks in the hyaluronic acid and all the hydration that is bringing into your skin. And interesting that I should see this come up twice in one day, because I shot that earlier today. They say it hydrates, moisturizes, brightens, and plumps the appearance of skin. It has sugar-derived squalane, which is a lightweight mega moisturizer that locks hydration into the skin, and polyglutamic acid, which delivers immediate and long-term plumping benefits to the skin. Okay, and then they have the ingredients. Now I went over the ingredients. I looked at this ingredient list, but I didn't look up what they are. It feels like there's an oil in here, but if there is, it's not called an oil. For instance, I'm not sure what Alpha-ea officinalis root extract is. Maybe it's an oil. Glycerin, which is high up there, which is great. It's great to have some glycerin. Magnesium stearate, mica, rice bran extract, which is brightening. Sodium hyaluronate at the bottom, squalene at the bottom, tocopherols at the bottom. And yeah, I'm glad that glycerin is higher up, because I just saw this video that Shireen Idris did, and she said there was a reason she didn't like hyaluronic acid, and that was because at certain molecular weights it can be inflammatory for those with rosacea. So now I'm kind of like thinking, ooh, hyaluronic acid, what's a molecular weight? So that's what it is. This is day 2. Before we get into me applying the product and products on top of that and getting that real life, ooh, what does this feel like? You should know that I didn't look up any information before I put it on. I like to do that because that way I'm not watching out for certain things. I'm watching out for what I'm actually feeling and seeing on my skin. Also, you should know how old I am and what my skin type is, because your skin may differ and it might help you figure out, is this going to work for you, right? I'm 60, my skin is dry. I don't have flaky skin, but it doesn't produce oils and ceramides and hyaluronic acid and collagen and elastin and all the good stuff that your skin naturally produces. It produces less of as you get older, and I'm one of them. And I have signs of aging despite my very best efforts. Especially right over here. I'm not digging this stuff right now. But that's my skin. I like something that's moisturizing and hydrating, but I also like something that sets up, hint. And I think that's about it. Before we get started, consider giving the video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. So YouTube's like, oh, a bunch of thumbs up here. Maybe we'll push this out to other people so I can grow and, you know, stay here, continue to do videos. All right, let's get into day 1. Today, first day of Saie. I'm just gonna shake this up. Whoa, really watery. So they do say it's a serum and indeed it is serum-like in that it's watery. And I have prepped with my skincare as usual, and my Mineral Magic sunscreen. I have the shade 7. I did order this online, which always makes it difficult, and I put out 2 pumps, but I don't know that I'm going to use 2 pumps because this has a lot of stretch. I tried it on my hand when I got it, and it has a very comforting kind of feel. It doesn't feel like other foundations. It feels like there's an oiliness to this. But I tried one of their, I think, sun visor product, and I didn't like it. I used it a couple of times, and I found that it had a very greasy feeling to it, which I don't mind in some cases, but this was too much. My hair stuck to it, and in order to get the SPF that's in the bottle, you have to use a lot of it, but it was priced like a foundation. There's my recollection. And I wasn't a fan. This kind of has that same feeling, but it's looser, so it doesn't have that thick, heavy feeling to it, but it does feel like something is not going to dry down. Glowy is the word. And as such, you really have to kind of watch for your fingerprints in this, because it's so, I don't know, I can't think of the right word, and you have to watch for accumulation in the crevices. Yeah, you have to watch for smeariness, for sure. I think it would depend on how you prep your skin. I will do another sunscreen tomorrow. I think it looks great when I'm looking at the mirror right here. This is something I feel like I don't want to go on with other makeup quite yet. I want to let it set up anyway. And usually what I do is after my foundation, I go on with my eyes to let everything set up. I'm not sure I'm going to do that today, but I'll be back in a flash. I will say the amount that I put on is definitely not full coverage. They don't claim that this is full coverage. They say it's medium coverage. The skin looks nice, but extraordinarily shiny. And I see my broken capillaries, and I see the redness on the sides of my cheeks. I'm going to just add a little bit and see if I can build that teeniest amount. Let's see if I can build this at all. I am not so sure that this is going to be a brush-friendly foundation. First of all, it does feel oily, which will make it hard to clean your brush, but it might leave streaks. I don't really like building it on the cheek that much in the immediate. You have to build this with some care because of this oil or oily feeling. Otherwise it's just going to get smeary and streaky. Okay, I'm going to turn off the camera, let this set up a little bit, redo my white balance, and we'll be right back. And we will do some powder. It certainly needs it. And do some blush and do a couple of other products and see how they work together. Much better. Something was totally off about that, and this looks a little bit more human and will help you discern what the color is like. I'm just going to put a little bit more on my hand so you can see what that color is. So they say, I'm sure I chose something that is neutral. And I find that there's a teeny bit of yellow in here, but not a whole lot. And I think once you put it all over the face, it seems okay. It seems okay what I'm looking at here. We'll see, you know, I'll report tomorrow when I look in the other room. But it is extremely... This looks like oil. It looks like my skin is beautiful, and it looks like my skin is beautiful, and I'm at the beach, and I just put an oily sunscreen on my face. That's what it looks like. And I just don't think this is ever going to feel like it's set. So before we powder, let's do some cream products, and I'm loving this so much. This is from Vive, And the teeniest little bit is hard to see because it's raining. It's super cloudy today, but I think I have this on my face. I mean, it's going to be on my face. I just don't know if it's showing up. If I have enough on. Yeah, no problem at all. So far I'm wondering, maybe who this is really for is actually a lot like this. If you don't have a lot to cover and you just do one pump, because a little goes a long way, and put it all over your face, maybe it won't be quite as slippery feeling and maybe not quite as shiny. I think it'll be just as shiny, but it might set up if you don't need a lot of it. So maybe tomorrow we'll try just using one pump all over and then going in with concealer to spot conceal. Not sure. I'm going to take my By Terry powder and do a little bit of powdering because it's a little too much. Now my brush is definitely picking up the oils. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but we're going to move in and you can hopefully see how the brush is. It just doesn't look like a brush normally would. As such, I also feel like, I'm not sure I'll feel too incredibly comfortable using powder products with this, like a powder blush or bronzer. Okay, we're here to experiment, we're here to figure out, that's what we're here to do. So we're going to, I just powdered the center of the face, the chin a little bit, the center of the forehead. I didn't powder over here. I have to see, how is my squirrel and my powder blush going to work together? I know that's just picking up all that oil. And then you're going to dip back into your powder product with an oily brush, which will ruin your powder. And I am just going very gently. It's doable, but you have to be very specific. Have a lot of intention when you do that, because usually with powder I can just go boop, boop, boop and blend out where it's gone too far. And I feel like I definitely want to wash this brush. Going in with the Saie Sun Melt. I think I'm going to go in with the same brush as I use for the blush. My hair is kind of sticking to my face. And I mean, that happens from time to time. I'm not sure if it's about the foundation, but I am sure that it's bothering me. It works really well with this. And I think, you know, not just because it's a Saie product, which, first of all, kudos for that, because so many times I've bought products from the same brand and you would think they were made to work together and they aren't. So it works fine with this, and I think it would probably work fine with any other cream bronzer that you would have. So 2 for 2, or 3 for 3. Looks pretty. Does look pretty. What else do I need? So creams, it worked fine. It worked very nicely with creams, both cream liquid and this kind of balmy cream. And the powder, it worked fine. It's just, you have to be very precise. You have to be very specific where you're putting it. You're not going to get any forgiveness, I don't think, because, yeah. Now, let's try this. I love this. I hardly ever use it. It's the kind of product you could put under your foundation, but I wouldn't put it under this one because there's already a lot of sheen here. You know, you don't need it. But if you have something more matte and you just want a little bit of iridescence, little goes a long, long way. You could use it like the Charlotte Tilbury, where you just put it underneath, or I'm going to take the teeniest bit. It has a watery nature to it, and just put it right here, and then take my dry thumb and make sure there's no edges. Really pretty and soft, because it has a little bit of sheen, a color to it. Alright, so we'll come back tomorrow and I'll tell you how it wore. I question its ability to stay in one place. I don't know, I feel like what I want to do is go on with, look at the nose. Can you see the streaks on the nose I just created? It doesn't set down. I didn't powder my nose, so I'm just really lightly trying to get rid of that. It doesn't set down. I think this is the kind of thing that if you ate something and took a really big bite, it would be smeary all over the place. So far I'm kind of iffy, but if you just watched my video about this product, you know that each day is a different day, and I finally found something that worked on the third day. Maybe this will be one of them, but initially I'm thinking, I don't think I'm gonna love this. I think the color is okay, but I think this is going to bother me. I'm just gonna do the rest of my makeup and come back with the final look, and I'll be back in a flash. And this is my final look. It's very simple, very easy. I'm just having a casual little errand to go, and I do think that it looks pretty. The sheen is coming back, but it's not as shiny as it was when I first put it on, so that's good, but I still, you know, I do have that sheen. It's not going to go away. And I don't know, I just don't think it looks all that brilliant, actually. And I exfoliated yesterday, so it should be just fantastic on the skin. Just, I'm going to pull you in and you can get a final look. And of course, you may decide it looks fabulous. I just feel like, it's okay. I am really pleased that I got a seemingly good color. So that is fantastic. And it's not too warm, and it doesn't have any greenness to it or grayness to it. So color-wise, I'm pleased, and it bodes well for the rest of the colors. So that's very, very good. Played well with the creams, played well with the powder. I already mentioned you have to be very careful with that. You guys, I just went into the other room where there's a lot of natural light, diffused light, indirect light, and wasn't even wearing my glasses, and I thought, ew, I do not like the way this looks on my pores. Like, I can see and I don't have big pores. I can see everything. I'm not really happy. It looks good at a couple of feet away, but someone gets close to you, it doesn't feel set up. I'm beginning to feel a little angry, honestly. I'm beginning to feel a little angry. And I just kind of patted everything down. I wonder if I have a dry beauty blender. I mean, doing that with my hands probably helped a lot. It did, but I also removed some coverage. And I guess I would have the same effect, where if I went over with a beauty blender instead of my hands, it would help sink everything in, but it would also help take stuff off. But even still, I'm not in love with the way this looks. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but boy did I see it in the bathroom. Just because it doesn't work on me doesn't mean it won't work on you, and it also doesn't mean that I'm not going to come back with at least one more day. It may not be 2 more days because I just don't have a good feeling about this. Okay, I just wanted to share, and we'll see you on the next day. Okay, day 2, you guys. I didn't enjoy applying this or wearing it yesterday. I didn't feel that it meshed with the skin. As you saw, I went into the bathroom and looked without my glasses on, and it just felt like it was laying on top. After I patted it with my fingers, things looked better, but I lost some of the coverage, which I really need because I have a lot of redness. I feel that if you build this to get good coverage, it's never going to set. And if you put on just one pump, it might set, but you're not going to get this stuff covered if you have a lot of redness, which I do. While I was shooting, a package arrived on a Sunday from a company called Naked Fridays. They sent me several sunscreens. The Sunscreen Saturday series will be coming back. I'm just kind of gathering some sunscreens and some ideas. Let me know if there are sunscreens that you want me to review that you haven't tried yet, and I'm happy to purchase those and get into it. But one of the things they sent me was this. This is, what is the company called? Yeah, Naked Fridays. Oh, Naked Sundays. I'm sorry. Naked Sundays. is this SPF spray. I was curious to see what this was about, and I wanted to see what their sprayer was like, if it was really aggressive or not. So I sprayed this on within 10 minutes of finishing that video, and I felt finally that it was Sept. And that was quite interesting. I haven't taken a look at these ingredients, but I could smell alcohol. So there's alcohol in here, which may help this set up. So at this point, I'm really not looking forward to wearing it again, to be honest with you, and I'm really not looking forward to doing a 3-day wear test, which I'm not going to do because tomorrow torrential rains. Rains are going to be starting momentarily, so I'm really early this morning, and it's quite cloudy. I really don't know what to do because I feel like if I build for enough coverage, it will never set, it will be smeary, it will come off. I wear a lot of clothes that go over the head, and I don't want it on my clothes and off my face. I am working on my videos or whatever, and I might hold my chin like this, it will come off. Do you know what I mean? My nose runs a lot. I seem to have allergies consistently, oddly enough not today, and I feel like if I did this, it would come off. I mean, I know it would, because later on when I checked, everything was gone in my nose, and I had to put concealer on because it was everywhere but my nose. I'm not loving it, which isn't to say that you won't. Somebody had said in the community page she just got it and adores it, and everybody's different. But we're going to try. I'm going to start with one pump again. I'm going to shake her up just a little bit, just for good measure. One pump, which I think will go pretty far. I think I can get the entire face with one pump. But it is a teeny bit too light, as you can see. It does have a very comforting kind of feeling, a cushiony kind of feeling to it, an oily kind of feeling to it. I don't think this would be great with a brush. I mentioned that before because of its texture. You're just going to have a hard time cleaning your brush. And foundation brushes are the hardest. And I wouldn't want this with a beauty blender, but finishing with a beauty blender, not so bad. So it's still a little smeary, especially around the nose. I mean, it's common to be smeary around the nose, but it's not smeary anywhere else. But you can see I'm tapping it because I'm just kind of getting everything to mesh in. But it looks very, very, very shiny. Yeah, she's just a shine bomb, man. I just feel like I've been bobbing for apples, but the apples are in a vat of oil. What I'm going to do is we're going to go on with this. I happen to love this, and I happen to love this color. But I just used a touch. I'll just pick up a little bit more. Okay. Now yesterday I used it under my eyes, and you know what? Not bad under the eyes. I really have no complaints. I did powder it, but it looked pretty darn good. So today I'm going to go in with an actual concealer. We'll do the Tom Ford. Just going to dab a teeny bit here. And I'm going on with the Saie Sun Melt again. And this product I really like too. There's so much to like about this brand. I also like their concealer, but I bought it just before the Tom Ford, and once I tried that Tom Ford, I was like, no, I don't need this. And I especially need it with this because this is a little bit icy on me. I feel I look a little more human with the bronzer. Now from here, you have to decide, do you want to be this shiny? Check out that, hello. Do you want a powder? I know they have a powder, I don't have the powder. I did try my powder yesterday, my by Terry, but I'm curious about the Ray Morris over this. I just am rediscovering this one. I'm just going to pick it up with this, and we're going to see how these work together. Oh, nice. So I just, I gave it 5 minutes to kind of set up. There's still sheen, but it's not shine. Yesterday, it wore all day, but remember I did use that sunscreen, this one, from Naked Sundays, and I think it acted as, I haven't read anything about it yet, I just opened it and put it on. But I think it might act as a setting spray at the same time. And I'm going to put a little of this under the eyes instead of powdering under the eyes. Okay. I like this application 1,000 times better than yesterday's application. 100%. I do still see some of my redness, but like I said, I feel that if I put more on, it's just going to be a smeary mess and never set up. So I'm going to warm up my hands. They're not really warm, but it doesn't really feel set. You have to decide, are you going to be okay with that? It's just not going to set. I'm going to give it a few more minutes though. I'm going to finish up my eyes. It's not going to take too long, and come back with my conclusions. Okay, you guys, I just finished up a couple of things, and I'll have it all listed down below. And the sheen, as you can see, I hope it's not as hard as it was before, but it's definitely not matte 100%. I feel that, you know what, I need to check in the other room before I say that. I was going to say I feel it's sitting better on the skin, but it was when I was in the other room that I really noticed it wasn't. Right back. Looks much, much better, but I feel like it's just too shiny for me. And you know, I like a glowy. This isn't glowy, this is shiny. Even though I did use the Rain Morris, I'm just curious to see if this will work on top of it. I just feel like my forehead looks bumpy, and it's not. I will say this, I think it looks much better today than it did yesterday. So 1, less is more with this. 2, it's not glowy, it's shiny. If that's something that you can't handle, or if you don't mind putting a lot of powder on it, then I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Also, for me, when I think of the Jones Road, I put a lot of powder on that because it is so shiny, but it holds the powder and it looks beautiful, where this, it doesn't really hold the powder. And it doesn't hold the Rain Morris either. It's like that shine is like a virus that does not want to die. It's like, no, you can't knock me down, babe. I am just gonna... Remember those clowns? What were those clowns? If you're my age, I'm 60, those clowns that you hit and they go all the way down and then back up, that's what the shine is on this. It's a lot. I feel that if you use 2 pumps, if you use a lot, it's smeary and it's not going to set. But today, I just used 1, and it's not particularly set, I gotta tell you. Yeah, I feel it. I think it looks pretty today, but I don't know that this is something that I want to keep. And I think the thing that's bothering me the most about it is how incredibly shiny it is. All my sunscreens have shine in them, by the way, you guys, but I don't think this is about my sunscreens. I think it's about this product. After all, they're calling themselves glowy. You know, it's not the sunscreen. So for me, it's kind of a pass. But there are so many other Saie products that I love. I love this. This is one of my favorites. You've seen me talk about this if you've been here before. And I love this. There's a lot to love with this brand, but for me, this isn't one of them, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean that you won't like it, you guys. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. It doesn't mean that you won't love it. It just means I don't love it. I think the coverage really not that good. You can't build it because it'll get even more smeary than it is with 1. But once I put my blush on and everything, it doesn't bother me so much. I'm not loving this. And you guys, I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't have anything else to say. Look, if you like what you see, and if it sounds something interesting to you, by all means, give it a try. Of course, Sephora does returns that are fuss-free, but I can't recommend this from my own personal experience. That's going to wrap up today's video. Thanks so much for spending some time with me. I hope that it was helpful, and I hope you come back again. See you in the next one.